The time is 9 o'clock, and you are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
I'm Mike Robar, and this is your local CHMA News. Coming up today, while the New Brunswick government opted against outright cuts in its announced budget last week, it plans to freeze operating grants to publicly funded post-secondary institutions, a move which has Mount Allison faculty and student associations preparing to continue the fight for post-secondary education. But first, the New Brunswick government is investing $3 million for Mount Allison's multi-sport complex. A release from the university says the money will help with the construction of the Scott McCain and Leslie McLean Center for Health and Wellness, currently under construction and expected to open in 2030. It will serve the university's 2,400 students as well as the 14,500 residents of the Tantramar area. MLA Jean-Claude Demore, Minister of Post-Secondary Education, Training and Labor, made the announcement on campus Monday morning. The $30 million complex will feature a playing surface of about 2,400 square meters, a walking track, multiple court configurations, and multi-purpose space. The municipality of Tantramar now has an easy-to-read version of its budget, outlining spending and revenue for the upcoming year. Released last Friday, the document can be found on the municipality's website under News and Notices. It begins with a summary of services provided to residents, followed by an explanation of the municipal tax rate and of how inflation and borrowing impacts the municipality's expenses. This year's budget total is about $18.3 million, with revenues of just over $17 million coming from property taxes and the remainder from other sources. The largest increase over last year is for community and corporate services, things like tourism, healthcare, housing, and economic development, which the municipality will spend $1.31 million on, about a 20% increase. Other increases include to protective services, with increases for fire of 7.36% and police 3.97%, as well as active culture and living seeing an increase of 4.67%. Budget increases to other departments are at or below inflation, which went up an average of 2.4%, according to the Consumer Price Index. And now, your feature story. The provincial government announced it is freezing operating grants for post-secondary institutions as part of its 2026-2027 budget. The budget, tabled last week in the legislature, is set to be voted on Friday. If it passes in its current form, Mount Allison will be one of 4 universities affected by the freeze. Though happy there were no outright cuts, comments from Finance Minister René Legacy that the government will be looking at further cuts over the next year means faculty and student groups are already planning to continue the fight, says Mount Allison professor and president of the university's faculty association, Lori Ricker.
This is not a fight we're in alone, and it's not over because there was a freeze, quote unquote, this year. There's the long-term health of the sector is at stake, and ourselves, along with student associations and other parts of the labor sector, it's only just beginning for us.
Premier Susan Holt's Liberals spent $546 million on the post-secondary education sector last year, and estimate they will spend $554 million this year. That spending includes programs like recruitment, experiential learning, financial assistance, and grants. Last year, grants accounted for $302 million, while this year sees the budget allocate $307. With inflation estimated to be around 2.4%, according to the Consumer Price Index, the freezing of funding amounts to a cut equal to that, says Jeff Martin, another professor at Mount Allison and executive director of the Faculty Association.
So you're looking at, to maintain operations as they are, you're looking at 2.5 or 3% more. And yet if you're looking at a freeze, so that's a de facto cut. And there's that issue of, it's not like, oh, we're going to have one bad year and then we're going to be on a trajectory of 2 and 3% increases. They're really still talking about transformation, which is likely to be negative for the sector.
Tantramar MLA Megan Mitten is also worried about what the budget has left on the table, some of which include ideas floated by the Holt government in the days leading up to the budget announcement, she said.
I'm thinking about like property taxes for universities, for example. So yeah, I think there's still an axe hanging over a lot of things right now. And so we're kind of waiting to better understand exactly what's going to happen.
Last Tuesday, the day the budget was tabled, saw students from across the province show up outside the legislature to protest what were originally thought to be much steeper cuts. Wilson Palouk, president of the Mount Allison Student Union, helped organize that protest. He says he and his counterparts were relieved but not satisfied with what the government proposed, and that he remains concerned the freeze could still mean cuts to programs. However, he's hopeful the students will continue to raise their voices together, he says.
Freeze is a great word for it because this is going to thaw out eventually, right? Our work as student unions will not stop here. It will not stop when my term ends on April 30th. It is going to be a long-term fight for us to get through things. I suspect the government will propose another cut next year, and I think students will act up again.
One of the biggest uncertainties for faculty at Mount Allison is whether the freeze in grants applies to special projects. For her part, Ricker expects to have some answers by the end of this week from the university's president, Dr. Ian Sutherland.
President Sutherland is having a town hall meeting next Friday, so they'll presumably have time by that point to figure out how that's going to affect Mount A. And I hope that they will be transparent, because I think there's some things on the table. You know, they're talking about wanting to bring in a Bachelor of Education program that's clearly an investment in the university, as opposed to austerity cuts because now we're going to have like a, slowdown on our hiring or what have you. So hopefully those questions will be clarified once they understand the impact on the budget from their perspective. So we're in the dark until Friday.
As always, head to chmafm.com to follow this and other stories from your community. And if you have any news, tips, or ideas, email news@chmafm.com. I'm Mike Robar with your local CHMA news from Tantramar.
And here is your CHMA Atlantic update. A 15-year-old from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia will remain in custody after a court appearance today. Police allege the teen discussed coordinated school attacks in 2 provinces with a 14-year-old online. Investigators say they found written plans and imitation weapons after searching a home. The case is adjourned until next month, allowing the preparation of a Gladue report, which describes the unique or systemic background factors involving an Indigenous offender. New Brunswickers at high risk of severe COVID-19 illness will be eligible for a second dose of the most recent vaccine beginning April 7th. The Provincial Department of Health says those eligible include people aged 65 or older, immunocompromised people older than 6 months, and adult residents of congregate living facilities for seniors. The second dose will not be offered after June 26th, so as not to interfere with COVID-19 vaccination efforts in the fall. For those eligible, health officials recommend waiting at least 3 months between the first and second dose of the recent vaccine. Premiers from Atlantic Canada are traveling to Texas for a major global energy conference. The CERAWeek conference will feature a meeting of industry leaders and global government figures to promote the offshore oil, gas, and wind industries. The conference runs this week until Thursday. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston and Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Tony Wakeham are both planning to attend. A new kindergarten to grade 8 school is planned for the east end of Moncton, New Brunswick. The Fairview Knoll area school will combine the Forest Glen and Sunnybrae schools into one building, giving students a space to build what the province calls a strong sense of community. The $96.5 million school is expected to hold about 990 students. Construction could start next year with a planned opening date estimated for 2030. New Brunswick has reached a deal with Ottawa over lost HST revenue. The province estimated a $70 million loss from a holiday tax break. Federal Cabinet Minister Dominic LeBlanc says there won't be any direct compensation, but Ottawa is looking to come to an understanding on the issue. Ottawa will provide $60 million tied to digital health records, with the funding spread out over the next 2 fiscal years. The Royal Newfoundland Constabulary say they have arrested a man in Corner Brook after a bear spray attack. The RNC says the man faces several weapon-related charges, and officers are searching for another individual. The force says he may be armed and dangerous, and the public is advised to call police if he is spotted. Police say they found a person who had been sprayed with bear spray when they responded to a report of a disturbance at a Corner Brook home on March 14th. And that has been your CHMA Atlantic Update.
Hi, I'm Ian, and you're listening to CHMA Radio.
And now the weather. Today, mix of sun and cloud. Wind north 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40, becoming light this afternoon. High +1, wind chill -12 earlier this morning. UV index 3 or moderate. Partly cloudy tonight, becoming cloudy near midnight. 60% chance of flurries overnight. Wind becoming southwest 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40 near midnight. Low -4, wind chill -10 overnight. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 25th. Mix of sun and clouds, 60% chance of flurries. Wind southwest 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40, becoming northwest 20, gusting to 40 in the afternoon. High +5, wind chill -10 in the morning. UV index 2 or low. Wednesday night, increasing cloudiness, low -9. Thursday, March 26th. Snow or rain, high of 6. Thursday night, periods of rain, low +4.
Hey, this is Lasse from Germany, and you're listening to CHMA.
And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
As the NHL regular season winds down, but one game in the National Hockey League last night, and that was the Ottawa Senators earning the 2-1 victory over the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. In the NBA, only about 12-13 games left in their season as well. It was the Detroit Pistons with the 113-110 victory over the Los Angeles Lakers at home, handing the Lakers their first loss in 10 games. It was the Pacers by 2 over the Orlando Magic, 128-126. Oklahoma City Thunder, they get their 57th win on the season with a 123-103 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. It was the Spurs over the Heat, 136-111. The Atlanta Hawks humiliating the Memphis Grizzlies, 146-107 in Georgia. Bulls by 8 over the Rockets, 132-124. Raptors beaten up on the Utah Jazz out in Salt Lake City. They get the W with a 143-127 victory. Warriors needed overtime to get by the Dallas Mavericks, 137-131 in Dallas. Trailblazers by 35 over the Nets at home, 134-99. And at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, Los Angeles Clippers defeat the Milwaukee Bucks 129-96. And in the women's March Madness tournament, all 3 number 1 seeds advanced yesterday that were playing in action: UCLA, South Carolina, and UConn.
And that's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Please be sure to check out Brian's show on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. for more sports commentary.
This is Anonymous, and you're listening to CHMA.
Hey folks, if you're looking for a way to spend your Saturdays, Duckies is hosting Open Mic Night every other Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. Bring your acoustic music, poetry, comedy, or whatever creative spark you've got and take the stage, or just sit back and soak up the vibes with your friends. That's Open Mic Night at Duckies, celebrating local voices and good energy. See you there.
Community Bingo Night at TRHS on March 27th, 2026, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join in for a night full of prizes, fun, and competition. Doors open at 5 p.m., the games begin at 6 p.m. Go on, take a look, and see who shouts bingo first. Please note, this is a 19-plus event. The Sackville Cinematheque is excited to screen Beau Travail, French director Claire Denis' searing post-colonial masterpiece about discipline and desire among French soldiers stationed in the African nation of Djibouti. The screening will take place at the Owens Art Gallery, located at 61 York Street, 7 p.m. on March 27th. That's 7 p.m., March 27th, 61 York Street. For more information, please visit www.sackvillecinematheque.com. See you there. The Sackville Community Garden is inviting everyone to celebrate spring by participating in the Seedy Saturday event on March 28th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The highlights are going to include the seed swap, where you can bring your surplus vegetable, fruits, flowers, and herb seeds to share and trade with others, and the houseplant swap, where you bring your indoor plant babies and cuttings to share, trade with others who bring plants too. Also, there'll be the community garden info and registration. You can learn about the community garden, sign up for a plot for the 2026 growing season, sign up for a brand new membership. So come on in, stay a while, catch up, meet new people, and chat everything plant related. All plants and people are welcome. This is at 21 Bridge Street. That's the space right next to the Ducks Aren't Real Dinette. Hope to see you there.
Hey folks, if you're looking for something different to do in March, do not miss out on This Is a Play, which is running from March 26th to March 28th at 7:30 p.m. at the Mortier Fancy Theatre in the Purdy Crawford Center for the Arts. This is a part of the student showcase, and this production brings 2 one-act plays to the stage. The tickets are just $5 and available now through Ticket Owl. For more information, you can email drama@mta.ca.
And that was your CHMA News. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramara's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com.
Okay, we're already running late. We're about to leave. Just want to make sure that your phones are charged. I hope you have your headphones with you, and I hope you have lots of tasty snacks to carry. I hope you all know why, right? Because you will be joining me, Saili, for Safarnama, a travelogue experience that takes you on a musical cruise through the diverse flavors of Indian music. Enjoy a mix of slow melodies, popular Bollywood dance hits, and soothing classical tunes. Pack your bags and tune in to CHMA 106.9 FM on Thursdays at 10 p.m. Okay, enough of the introduction. Let's leave for now. I hope you all have a great journey.
Hello, everyone. You are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, Voice of the Marshes. I'm Maya Noel, and this is the Late Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, March 24th. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning. We have a lot of music to get into, so let's get started. First up, we have Sammy Volkov with A Matter of Time, and then we have Great Grandpa with Junior. Let's go.
There's a place you ignore. Step inside, lock the door, close your eyes. you thinking right on time. Tore through sheets, crossed the yard to see it happen with my eyes. Oh, he's alright, he's fine. Lucy grabbed that damn dog, come inside. The Thompsons won't be happy, their pig's lost tonight. He crossed that property line. They're boys and somebody's rolled by, baby. Bright lights on the kids. Oh yeah. By right shot that dog and he died. My wife, she ran downstairs and cried. Oh, she's alright, she's fine. Junior ran out, fist held up high. He went swinging with the young man's wives. I saw him twirling passion wild. Everybody's asking, where'd it go? Spent that whole night looking, but treasure never showed. Most nights that's how it goes. And he grabbed me by the scruff and I like crimes with my buddies all night, baby. Hailstorm, baby, I live. Oh yeah. By night, lost and mommy will ride. Yeah, this life was all started up in my eyes. I knew you there at first sight. You went working on your daddy's mind. I saw you twirling, it drove me wild.
Hey guys, you just listened to Junior by Great Grandpa on CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, Voice of the Marshes. I'm Maya Noel, and this is the late morning show, and we also listened to A Matter of Time by Sammy Volkov. We only have enough time for one more song. I'm back on at the same time tomorrow, though, so don't be too sad. I'm going to send you away with Sarah Danielle and Mother Tongue. Thank you so much, as always, for listening, and you can find more information, schedules, local news, community events, etc. on chmafm.com. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Between borders, flowerless round the corner, towers standing proudly across the river. Two sides, one in nurture, one of them always bitter. Try to bring me in closer, while I'm the imposter. everything becomes distant. I feel so disconnected. No culture makes no sense. I wanna be the original, but I'm playing a role. Yeah. Why do I play a role? Always playing a role. Now the time feeling wrong in my mind. Switching between different worlds in and out. Where is home when I stand on shaky ground? Mother tongue, what is it worth? Mother tongue, what is it worth? Now the time feeling wrong in my mind. Switching between different worlds in and out. Where is home when I stand on shaky ground? Mother tongue, what is it worth? Mother tongue, what is it
Community Bingo Night at TRHS on March 27th, 2026, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join in for a night full of prizes, fun, and competition. Doors open at 5 p.m. The games begin at 6 p.m. Go on, take a look.